What's happening, Ratchet City and all over? It's your girl Tina B, and you know I'm holding it down with Takeover TV. Don't play with me. Just put on my belt.
Ain't your belt.
It's my belt.
When I think of Tina B, I think of energy.
Okay.
Because she has just so, I like how she has so much damn energy.
People say that to me all the time. I don't know.
Where does it come from?
I don't know. That's like the God of the truth. I don't know. I've always been this type of way. My mama told me when I was little, I used to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning jumping around one of the beat-on stuff. I used to like play with like sticks and stuff, beat-on stuff and do crazy things like that. One time I emceed with Scooter at South Highlands, I believe, or South Highlands or North Highlands. And it was 8 o'clock in the morning. He called me the night before and said, hey, I'm going to school, pull up. I was like, all right. So me, him, Breeze, Yoshi, we went to the school. And it's 8 o'clock in the morning. And he was like, all right, so I'm gonna do my thing. Yoshi's gonna do his thing, and you gonna do yours. I was like, all right, bet. So Scooter go up there, he talked to him. Yeah, y'all go to school, be great. He's like, all right, how about Yoshi go up there? He do his little thing. Then I go up there, and I like got the kids doing, I mean, it's crazy. But like, it's 8 o'clock. So Scooter looks at me, and he said, how do you have that much damn energy at 8 o'clock in the morning? And you know what my answer was? Youth encampment. You ever heard of youth encampment?
You said what?
Youth encampment.
Youth encampment. Yeah, I've heard it.
Okay, it's a Christian camp that, you know, I went to growing up. And
right.
Like you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're like literally doing stuff all day long. And back then when 11 years old, they had me turned up like that at 6 o'clock in the morning, rooting kids on, walking down the street trying to make sure they stay awake. I'm up in there like, hey, wake up, wake up, wake up. But like, it's 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm 11 years old jumping around doing that. So I feel like that's kind of just always been me. It wasn't practice. I didn't look for it. I didn't try to do it. It just was who I was, so.
It's just natural.
Yeah.
You just have
I woke up like this.
You just have a natural Energizer battery pack on your back at all times.
I do.
Fully charged, ready to go.
For some weird reason. I don't know why. Don't know what to do
That's
about
just you.
It is.
It's just you. So let's take it back a little bit.
Okay.
How did you even get into being a radio personality, and what led you down that road?
When I was in 8th grade, that was where I job shadowed it. I job shadowed at 99 in 8th grade.
Okay.
I wanted to be on the radio. Well, I knew I wanted to be on the radio when I was in, like I said, in 8th grade. I knew in middle school.
Right.
How did I end up actually doing it? You know, life takes its own courses. Mm-hmm. And so somebody told me that in 8th grade, whatever you think you want to do in 8th grade more than likely is what you want to do. So somebody told me this recently, but ironically, it kind of came out to be true because I went to school, went to Grambling, went to do mass communications, and I started doing that. No, literally, they did not let me on the radio. I am not joking. This is not a joke. They did not let me on the radio. Grambling had a radio station. The lady would not let me on there. She told me I was too ghetto for her station. Really? Yes, and this is HBCU. That's what she said.
I've been saying you at Grambling.
Yeah. That's what she said. They had this. It's a certain way that they wanted it to be. So I apparently the way I spoke, I wasn't even a personality yet. So the way I spoke. I'm from Shreveport, so the way I spoke to her in general, I was too ghetto for her station. So I was probably 18. So think about being 18 years old or 17 years old. And the reason why you came to school, they told you were too ghetto to do. So from like 18 to like 19, I still tried, and she kept turning me back around. So that was for 2 years. After that, I gave up. Stopped trying to be on the radio, and I just actively was in mass communications, editing videos, editing tapes, you know, stuff like that, you know, doing what mass communications do, shooting stuff, you know, I like all that stuff I know how to do because I was in mass comm, so that's what I was doing.
Right.
Time went by, some more years went by, and life went to bleep, and literally I woke up one morning being an MC. It was like one morning I didn't have nobody, I didn't have nothing, but all I had was me. And so they was hosting tryouts at Grambling for a homecoming. And my friend had told me last year to go, but last year when she told me I had everybody, I had everything, I had stuff, so I went, but I didn't care about it. This time I didn't have nobody, and I went, and they called me back. And I had started emceeing from then on. Literally, like I emceed one event on a Sunday. It was a gospel explosion. Emceed that. They called me the next day and said, we want you to do everything for homecoming. And BET coming down here, and we want you to be on BET too for the BET college tour. So mind you, I've only been emceeing for a day. at this point, and you telling me to be on BET. But I said, okay, bet. And so I was on BET. I did all that kind of good stuff. And so I came back home. I was about to graduate. I needed an internship.
Right.
And I am going to say this. I went to 99 3 times. And nothing happened. My mama told me, we live around the corner from 1037. Mm-hmm. My mama said, why don't you just go around the corner? So one morning, I woke up, I'm back at the house, and I said, I'm gonna go around the corner. I drove around the corner, nothing but like a minute and 30 seconds, because I used to literally walk to the radio station. I drove around the corner, I rang the doorbell. I said, hey, my name is Tina B, and all the stuff I just told you. And I'm about to graduate, and I need an internship, and the lady name was Tasha. She was like, hold on 1 minute. She went back there, got Quinn Eccles. He came back up to the front. Apparently, Tasha went back there and said, it's this girl that came to the door. I don't know her. I don't know what she do, but you need to meet her. And he came out, and he met me, told me to come back at 1 o'clock with a resume and show him some stuff. So I came back, had a little resume, and I showed him several videos, showed him the BET college tour video, showed him all the kind of stuff. And then from that point, I've started interning there. So I came for this is about dreams since we're here talking about it. I had nothing, right? Like I just told you. So I was working at Domino's. I got fired from Domino's. So I had no money, but I knew I had a dream. I knew what I wanted to do. And I had to graduate, but I also needed to be on the radio because that's what I wanted to do. So I was driving back and forth all summer with no job, with a free internship, not getting paid for, driving back and forth from Shreveport to Grambling had an apartment too. Okay. Driving back and forth every 2 or 3 days to make sure I was sitting at the radio station. And the crazy part was, I wasn't even talking on the air. I was just sitting in there on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Every week. QE said, I want to see you at least twice a week. I made sure I was there. Thursday, Friday, every single week. Did not talk on the air at all, not one point, for 3 months, from May to about August. August got around, he said, you know what, go voice track 10 to 2 for me. And I was like, okay, because mind you, I've been there for 3 months and not doing anything, but I wasn't complaining because, I knew I was optimistic. I knew where we was going. And so, and still was in school, knew I was going to graduate. Mm-hmm. Sitting there, did my little 10 to 2. He said everybody was like, who is this loud ass girl you got on from 10 to 2? And then all of a sudden, from that moment on, I was on the air from that day all the way until I left back on the 5th. So yeah, in 2020. So that was it's probably like what, 2015? It's 2020 now? Yeah, so that's 5 years ago.
Damn.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah, it's literally what happened.
Then turned into a superstar.
I don't know about superstar, but I'm pretty cool.
Okay, we're going to be modest. Okay.
I mean, I don't know if I'm a superstar.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, it's not even being modest. It's just being honest because I have my idea of where I want to go. I'm not there yet. So if you call me a superstar now, you're like, this girl, I ain't no superstar.
It's on the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, this is what I'm doing. Everybody has their own idea of success. So I always tell people that everybody's idea of success is different. Some people feel like they got a family and a house and kids, they have success. Mm-hmm. Some people feel like if they get a job at McDonald's today because they ain't never had nothing, that's their success. And I mean, not saying anything wrong with it, but I'm saying everybody has their own levels of idea of what success is to them. So to me, I don't think I'm really successful yet. I really actually hate when people say I'm successful. It bothers me.
Because you gauge your own level of success.
Yeah, and I always feel like I can do more, be more.
I understand.
So I'm not.
It happens to me too, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's my deal.
Heck yeah. You did some notable interviews, as I have myself. Mm-hmm. And people always ask me this question, so I'm gonna finally get to ask somebody else this question. What has been your favorite interview to do?
My favorite interview of all time.
All time.
And I'm going to remember it to the day I die. Is Keke Palmer.
At least you could come off with yours on top of my
Yeah, but see, that was a moment for me because this is a real life situation. I
remember that interview.
I have a bucket list of people that I want to meet, and she's literally on my bucket list.
That's
and
pretty
so
dope.
Whenever they told us that she was coming to the station, I was hyped, but she wasn't gonna be on my show. She was coming to be on Scooter's show.
Right.
So I was like, okay. I'm still hyped. I don't care if she coming to be on who show. She can go there and be on Jabba Job show. She could have went to 99. I was coming. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter. Like Keke Palmer in the city, I'm there. And then that next morning, after they told us, the next morning around 11:30, QE calls and he says, "Well, change the scenes, boo. Looks like Keke gonna be on your show." I said, "I ain't gonna be on my show." I ain't must let him know how lit I was. I was like, "All right, cuz, I'll call you back." I sat back. I mean, even though I already know everything about Keke Palmer, I went and I read her bios. I went to her website. I did all that kind of background work to make sure that I set my interview up well. So for me, one of the reasons why it was one of my best was because that was one of the most prepared I ever been. Because I knew I was interviewing Keke Palmer, so I knew I had to have it. Well, for me, in my mind, I was like, I gotta have it. Do. So that's how I did it. I had it. I knew what song I was gonna play at what time. I knew how I was gonna have a walk in. I knew everything. Then also, she was the most normal. Even though I've met people that are normal, she was the most normal, as if Kalani J's my best friend. Me, her, and Kalani J could go to the club together right now.
J, okay.
But like, you know what I'm saying? We could though. We could go to the club together right now and have a blast. And that was like one of the most amazing interviews I've ever done for me, because that was a good moment for me. And I was young. I was like, that was 3 years ago too. 3 or so years ago. I was fresh on the radio, and my first big interview is Keke Palmer.
That's a big interview.
Yeah, real talk. I was turned up. I could have cried in the car. Probably did. I just won't tell you. Probably did, but nah, that was my big one. I loved it.
Give me one more.
My other big interview that I've done, I mean, I've done a lot.
I feel like you've done quite a few.
Keke was the main one. Even though I've interviewed Master P, I've interviewed Jay Prince, I've interviewed Manny Fresh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna also have to say Monyetta Shaw. And the reason why is because Monyetta spoke life into me. Right. And I like, and not saying that none of the other ones did. I'm not, because Manny Fresh did too.
But some interviews just hit home, right here.
Yeah, but you know, she's from Shreveport.
Right.
And so, you know, for her to look at me and say, "Hey, we off the air, not on the radio, not on the camera, not for no Instagram." She said, "Right now, I want to let you know that you are in your element. You are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing right now." She said, "I've never been sitting in front of somebody who was so, even though I wasn't even prepared, who was so like, you know what I'm saying, who was so ready and like so like energized." She said that I was one of her best ones. So, yeah, that's why she mattered. That's why that one mattered to me, because you want to hear people who are above and who's doing things tell you that you're dope. So that made me feel good. So Monyetta would have to be number 2.
That's cool.
Keke number 1 though.
But Keke's number 1.
Keke number 1.
Palmer.
100%.
That's a good interview to have under your belt.
Yeah. I've done a lot.
Yeah, you've done quite a lot.
Yeah.
I don't follow you. You don't done quite a lot.
Well, thank you. Thank you for following.
No problem. No problem.